Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this action-packed all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. As a publisher, I get a lot of artists coming into my DMs on Facebook and Instagram talking about they're available for work. And sadly, a lot of these artists, while they believe that they are ready for work, are not ready to be professional based on the way that they behave. Now, one of the things that I really find to be annoying as a publisher is an artist who does not know how to be professional, because if someone doesn't know how to be professional, then we're not going to have a good working relationship. And one of the things that really frustrates me about dealing with these artists who say, oh, I'm so available for commissions, is they, one, don't have a portfolio. And again, if you want to get work, the first thing you need to do is have your social media page set up with samples of your work so that a publisher like myself can assess your content. Because one of the things I hate about people who want to say, oh, I'm an artist, and I go over to their page or their profile, is that they have no samples up. And if you have no samples up, how can I assess if your work is a good fit for my business? Critical question I'm asking all of these people who go out here and drop their messages in my DMs looking for work. Again, you have to have pictures on your page to show me all of your work. Moreover, you need to have listings of whatever publications you have worked with in the past so that I can get a sense of your work and get a sense of your ability to have a work ethic on a project. Because if you want me to invest money in you, you need to be able to show me you can be professional and can be reliable and consistent. I need to see a set of, again, pick commissions that you've done as related to work, and I need to see a series of pages to see how you tell a story on a page. I need to see these things in order to assess whether I want to work with you. And if you can't get these basics right, then why should I even consider thinking about hiring you for one of my projects? That's what many artists need to understand as related to the foundation of things. I need to, again, see your samples. I need to see your work overall. And in addition to seeing your work, I need to see if you have been consistent regularly as related to your work to show me that you have a track record of being able to get projects done in a timely manner. Now, the other issue I've had with artists who come to me is them, when I go out here and ask for their page rate, they start to get ambiguous, because what I'm seeing these days is people saying, well, let me see what's in your budget. No, I need to have a firm price before I can go out here and work with you, because when it comes to a professional publisher, again, when I ask you what your page rate is, I'm asking you what the price is. And again, if you say, oh, I can work within your budget, again, that's an ambiguous term. And again, a person who values their labor isn't going to say an ambiguous term. They're going to be specifically on their price, and they're going to be clear about their price as related to their project, to their work, because they understand the value of their labor, and they understand time is money, and they don't want to waste time by going into a vague statement like, oh, let me see what your budget is. No, that's not how it works. No, I already have my budget. And again, I want to find out what your page rate is so that I can assess if I want to hire you. And again, one of the things that pisses me off is somebody saying, oh, let me figure out what your budget is, because it shows me you're not confident. And if you're not confident in your ability, then you're going to sit there and I'm going to wind up making a deal that benefits me rather than benefit you. This is something I learned way back 25 years ago when I was working at the Strive Job Readiness Workshop. Now, when I was working at Strive, one of the job developers had to sit down with one of these students as related to the line as related to salary. And the guy basically, again, he went out here and put a low salary. Now, he didn't know what the salary was, and he put a low wage, and he told the guy that if you put a low wage, what you're going to do is undervalue your labor, and that money that you would have made is going right back to the employer. And the same thing happens here if you're a freelancer. Your money is going back in my pocket if you come out here and you come out here and say, well, let's figure out what the price is. I'm going to go out here and make a price for myself that benefits me because that's the power you have given me. And when you're out here, and again, when you're out here freelance, you need to know what your price is. Now, some of these folks, again, they basically want to try to lowball their price in an effort to try to get the job. But again, you sell yourself short because your price is your price. And again, if somebody values your work, they're going to pay your price. They're going to pay your price because they see a value in your work. And again, when it comes to a lot of artists, again, when you do these type of things, again, it shows me, 1, you have no confidence. 2, you don't believe in your ability. 3, you basically are someone that people are going to feel like they can take advantage of because you're not coming in their firm. And again, if you come in their firm and the people want your product, they're going to pay the price for your product. And that's what people don't, that's what a lot of artists don't understand. People will pay your price if your work is good and pay your price because they feel that your work is worth it, but you have to see that your work is worth it. Now, this doesn't mean you come in here as a rookie talking about $200 a page. No, it means that you come in here and understand, again, a reasonable value for your work. You understand a reasonable value for your product in a competitive marketplace. And again, your price is your price based on what you have sold in the past. And again, your price does not change because one of the things that makes people, again, like myself, look at you with a side eye is not having a clear price. Because when I see somebody without a clear price, this is where I just basically look at this person as shady and don't really want to deal with them. Now, the other thing that a lot of artists I'm seeing have a problem with is in addition to not knowing what their price is or being able to set a price, they basically, again, don't know how to, again, negotiate a deal. And what I'm seeing from the last 2 artists I had to deal with who were sending me some requests, they basically were going from, again, looking to negotiate professionally to begging and pleading. And again, begging and pleading is not professional. You don't beg and plead a person in order to get a job. No, if a person basically is saying that they want to pass, you just say thank you for your time and move on. You don't go out here begging and pleading with people because begging and pleading comes across as weakness. Moreover, it comes across as extremely unprofessional, and because as a professional, you want to be able to show that you can handle yourself in a professional situation. You want to be able to show you can be able to take rejection. And one of the worst things I've seen, again, is the begging and pleading that I ran into from 2 recent artists. I mean, don't beg and don't plead for a job. No, that's not something you want to do because, again, it not only lowers the value of your work, but lowers the perception of people as related to your character. Again, there's no reason to beg and plead for a job. Again, professional publishers, again, when we're out here, we want to hire. And again, sometimes if I get an artist, I would give them a chance. But if you come at me and you don't really have, again, a sense of what your price is to value your work, if you don't have an understanding of how to negotiate as related to negotiating an agreement, that's something, again, I'm looking at you with a side eye. And if I turn you down and then you start begging and pleading, this is where I start looking at the block button as related to you. And again, this is not a good look for you optically when you're begging and pleading for work, because when it comes to being a professional, you have to, again, be able to take rejection in a professional manner. This is what I've had to do for 15 years with 10,000, 20,000 job applications. And if you want to get credits, you have to understand that you may not be able to get them all. And a lot of times the things that undermine you are the way you behave with publishers as related to business. Now, the other thing that really irks me about a lot of artists these days is not having your payment partner straight. Again, this is what had me, an artist, a Facebook friend sent me to. I just basically had to just end everything because this guy basically did not have his payment thing straight. I mean, if you're an artist, you have to understand that you are providing goods and services. So if you have a PayPal or any sort of payment app that you're using, you have to have your paper together. And again, if you are in business, you need to have things ready for business where you are ready to, again, be able to take this as goods and services. Now, this artist, again, went out here and talked about, oh, I want it to be friends and family. No, it's not going to be friends and family. It's goods and services, because you are providing a service to me, and I need a receipt that says goods and services, because this is a service that you're providing to me. And again, this is how business is done. And again, when it comes to a lot of artists, they want to, again, talk about being in this business, getting commissions, but if you don't have your payment apps straight, if you want to do digital payments, it basically doesn't look really good professionally. And if some of these guys, again, basically don't want to pay the fees for PayPal, but again, if you are in business, that's all part of the business. And again, part of the business, and you need to be ready to take care of business, because if a larger company like a Marvel, a DC, a Image, or a Dynamite were to contact you and say they want to commission you for work, and you don't have your payment apps straight or your bank account straight, then when it comes to getting you paid, you're the one who's going to get jammed up. So always make sure that you have your payment partners, payment apps straight if you're taking digital payments, because people in the business, again, we want to, again, make sure that we have security as related to business. Moreover, we want to make sure that we're going to be able to pay someone. And again, when I'm running into people these days, they're having 2 and 3 different emails. And again, you have to have one email for your payments, one email for everything, because again, communication is important. And again, when you're working with an artist and the communication is sketchy, that's a red flag for most publishers like myself. It's a red flag because if you don't have your payment paperwork together, again, I don't want to just be out here sending money to random people and they just disappear. No, I want to have a paper trail for everything, because this is a business transaction for me. And with it being a business transaction for me, I want to make sure that everything is in line. And again, if you're an artist and you want to build your reputation and your brand as an artist, you need to make sure that your whole structure as related to business is on point, because the only way you're going to get more jobs is if everything is on point, because all it takes is one bad word of mouth, and that's the end of you altogether as related to your professional reputation, and you not having your whole communications on point, where you're professional, where your price is your price, and cannot communicate a deal. This is going to hurt you as a business and hurt the way you look to people, because nobody wants to do business with a desperate person. No, the only people who will do business with a desperate person are a lot of predatory publishers. And again, predatory publishers will go out here and play you like a sucker, basically underpaying you. And again, you will basically wind up with them basically getting more out of you than you get out of them. That's how the business works. And again, in this business, you need to be on point about your business. You need to be on point about your professionalism. If you're going to go out here and ask a publisher for work, if you ask a publisher like myself for work, you need to make sure that when I go to your page, I'm seeing quality samples, not just some really sloppy art. And you need to make sure that your price is your price when I ask you what your page rate is. Now, if I ask you what your page rate is, I want a straight and direct answer. I want a straight and direct answer because this is how I'm going to do business. And again, people do business in the store. They ask how much something is. And if they can't get a price, not like whatever you want to pay, because I could just say $1. I need a clear and specific price. If I have to name the price, then I'm going to, again, make the deal that benefits me. And I'm going to make that deal that benefits me and make sure that it's all going to benefit me. And again, when you're negotiating, again, do not talk too much. Again, just keep it simple. Another thing I see with artists is that they start talking too much. And again, I saw this on Shark Tank many times as related to business. Again, people would talk themselves out of a deal. And that's what I saw with the last two artists that contacted me. They talked themselves out of the deal. And again, I was just going to do a commission just to test them out to see what their style was like before, again, assessing if I wanted to use them for something else. But again, if you go out here and talk yourself out of a deal, you basically are going to cost yourself money. So you have to learn the art of shutting up, because in business, you don't want to talk too much, because if you talk too much, again, you're going to make a deal that basically doesn't benefit you. And again, learning how to shut up is an art form and a skill. And I've watched many people on Shark Tank basically make that mistake, and saw it right there with an artist that, again, the Facebook friend referred to me, talked himself out of a job. And again, I tried, and then after people asked me to give him another chance, I gave him another chance, but again, could not get his money and his payment straight. So basically wound up blowing his own job. And again, many artists, they don't see how they can blow a job. You have opportunities at a job, but you have to know how to go out here and communicate effectively if you want to get work. You have to know how to communicate effectively in order to make the deal. And once the deal is made, keep your mouth shut, get that money, and make sure you do the work. And another thing I'm seeing with a lot of artists is, again, they'll go out here and produce one great work in the beginning, but the second one will be uninspired and sloppy. And again, if you want to get work, you have to continue to be consistent, giving people quality work. That's something you have to do. And another thing that I find with a lot of these artists who come to me is they also do something, again, with the price, where they'll give you a low commission in the beginning, then look to raise the price. That's another thing that pisses people off in this business, because if your price is your price needs to be consistent. This is not a sliding scale. No, if I give you one commission, I expect the price to stay the same as related to another commission. Again, the page rate needs to stay the same, because I'm not going to pay more for another project later on. We're not doing that covert contract. No, this is a business, and in a business, you make the deal that you're supposed to make, and make the deal at the price that you're going to set up. Every artist that I work with as related to being professional, they keep their prices consistent, and they let me know what the price is from the beginning, and we make the deal. And again, that's how things go. Again, this is a straight line, and you cannot go out here playing little tricks, because little tricks, again, are going to alienate you from people, especially when you don't bring stuff in on time and you don't bring stuff in on deadline. Again, this is stuff that, again, hurts your professional reputation, hurts your whole ability to build your brand. And again, if you're a professional artist and you're working with people like myself who are publishers, we have standards for who we work with. We have standards for how we get our job done. And again, we need to see things as related to your professionalism. We need to see solid communication, very clear on price and consistent pricing. We need to see, again, consistent art and reliability as related to the finished product. This is what we need to see as related to your work. Again, I run into artists who often ask me if I have work for them, but I need them to work in a professional manner if they want to work for me. If you want to work for SJS Direct, you need to be, again, very clear about your price. You need to be very consistent about showing me your quality, consistent portfolio of work. You need to go out here and have good communication and be able to produce work on time. You need to be, again, on point about your job, because if you want to be your art featured in my books as interiors or covers, I need to see that you're ready to, again, produce quality work in a consistent manner. That's what I need to see, not just tell me, oh, I'm an artist and I'm looking for work. Are you ready to work up to a standard? That's the critical question I have to ask, because I don't have time for clowns. I don't have time for jokers. And if you think that you're going to, again, do this because I'm a small company, again, the way you graduate to the bigger companies is to show your professionalism with smaller companies. And again, one of the things that can undermine you as an artist is you just, again, not being able to take care of business. And that's one of the things I'm seeing with many of these artists who come to me, is that they're not able to take care of business. They're not able to follow directions. They're not able to keep characters on model. Again, this is a business. And again, if you get in your own way, you can cost yourself commissions, not only commissions, but also cost yourself your professional reputation. Now, I am open to, again, working with different artists out here all the time, and again, but I need to see quality and consistent work as related to projects. So I'm always looking on the lookout for an artist, and sometimes I give artists a chance, but you've just got to be professional out here as related to your business. Now, if you want to check out many of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, where I feature the work of comic artists as a tribute to the medium that helped me to read, you can check out many of my books on the SJS Direct imprint in paperback and Kindle format, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, my sorority novel, The Thetas, or my vampire novel, Eternal Night. You can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos or be able to continue helping out many new artists out here, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App, so I can continue commissioning them to do work on the SJS Direct imprint. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons. The aspiring angel tries to escape a house of horrors in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Get your copy of Esteem, Horror in the Hamptons in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.